A very difficult video for me. I recently lost a loved one. My dad passed away earlier this year, and I wanted to make a video because I'm wondering whether you've lost a loved one and perhaps you're grieving. Perhaps nobody has passed away, but perhaps you are grieving because of a divorce or a separation or estrangement from children, or empty nest syndrome, or you've lost a job, or you've had to retire, and there's that deep sense of loss and grieving. And I wonder if you're alone in your grieving. Have you got anyone to comfort you, to help you through this? Or are you completely alone? Are you away from your family and friends, and you've got nobody to really chat to except over the phone? Well, I'm going to give you some tips on how you can comfort yourself through the grieving process if you are alone. So if this is something that interests you, keep watching. Hi, I'm Paula Rose, and this is Wellness Wednesday. Here on this channel we chat about health and well-being for mind, body and spirit. So let's jump right into it. Being alone is a great thing at times. If you live alone and you are happily single, that's fantastic. Sometimes we're alone because circumstances, and you haven't chosen it, but that's the way things are, and you're making the best of it. But one of the worst things of being alone, whether you're happily alone or whether you're not, is when you are grieving. There is no one there that you can chat to. There's no one there that you can cry on their shoulder. There's no one there to listen face to face. You may have people you can chat over Zoom or on the phone, but to have a person right there in front of you to give you that hug, to give you that comfort that you need, is lacking. It's not there. So how do you cope at those times? How do you comfort yourself? How do you journey through that grief without plunging into the depths of despair? Well, these 5 tips I'm hoping that will help you, that I found that has helped me in those circumstances. As I've already said, my dad passed away. I'm living here in the UK, and Dad passed away in Australia. So I hadn't seen him for a very long time, for many years, but we did chat regularly on the phone. And the grieving part of it is that he's just no longer there, even though we have 15,000 miles or more a distance from us. He is not there. Mum passed away about 10 years ago or so, and just recently Dad at the age of ripe old age of 96. But when a person is older, it doesn't make the grief any less, because it is still a loss. And so whether as I said, whether you've experiencing divorce or empty nest or any other type of loss, you grieve, and grieving is natural. But what can you do to stop you getting into that depth of despair? And just in this short video, I want to share some tips with you to help you through. I'm sorry for my dogs barking outside. We're going to have to persevere with it a little bit. I think they're barking at the dog next door. So we'll carry on. So these tips aren't in any particular order. You can take them as you will, and also write them down, because when you are feeling really sad, it's really hard to remember what you've listened to. So if you jot them down in a journal or on a piece of paper, you know that you can find it later, just to remind you of what you can do to help you through your grief in a positive way. Well, the first tip I have for you is to accept that you are alone. To wish that you weren't alone is not going to help you at all. You need to accept that this is your situation and you're going to make the best of it and you're going to work through it. And to imagine that somebody is there and wanting and whining and pining for that is going to just make you go into the depth of depression. So that's my first tip. Accept you're alone. Accept that you alone are responsible for getting yourself through this grief in a positive way. And because there's nobody there. And because the problem is, if you hanker after somebody that isn't there, you're going to live in, by wishing that you had somebody there to help you through this, is not living in reality. The reality is that you are alone and that you need to help yourself get through this in the most positive way. The second tip is to constructively rest. What do I mean by constructively rest? Well, I mean, what is unconstructive rest would be putting yourself on the couch, getting a tub of ice cream, and eat pizza, and you think you're resting, and watch horror movies and make your mind whirl, and then you end up feeling guilty because you've eaten things that you didn't plan on eating and you didn't really want to eat. That's not constructive resting. Constructive resting is resting for recovery and knowing that you're doing it and taking the steps of what type of rest will help you to recover. And something like today, something happened today and I was reminded of my dad's passing and I felt really sad. So I constructively rest. I was in the middle of working, I received a phone call, and it just really made me sad because, you know, Dad's not here anymore, and it just reminded me so much of that. And so I stopped working, I withdrew myself, made myself a nice drink that I enjoy, nice coffee, and I just sat for a half an hour and meditated and reflected. I didn't feel that I wanted a nap. I didn't feel of anything else except just rest. So I constructively rested because I can be prone to panic attacks, and I knew that if I don't constructively rest, I can end up panicking with the feeling. You're feeling sad and you want to get rid of this feeling, so you start doing this and you start doing that, and you end up, you know, really spinning your wheels and making the whole situation worse, and it rises your emotions and it rises negative emotions. But what we want to do is to create positive emotions. We feel sad, negative emotions, and rightly so too. You miss your loved one, but we need to replace that with positive emotions, and resting gives us that space for that to happen. Now, resting for you might be curling up with a good book and getting your mind off the situation. For me, I just had a cup of coffee and I sat down and I breathed my way through it, thinking, you don't have to panic, Paula. It's okay. It's okay. And I just meditated and I prayed and asked for strength. And then after about a half an hour or so, I felt really calm and I really did feel rested. So constructive rest is rest with a goal, a rest that serves to make you feel a lot better. So write that down, constructive rest. So the next tip is what you may think is opposite to that, but it's not really, is being active but not busy. Because we can get busy to try to avoid our emotions. I've been there, I do that, and I have to stop myself from doing that. And you get so busy and engrossed in something that you get your mind off of it totally, but that feeling of sadness and grief is still there, and it can really eat away at you in your heart if you try to be so busy and you try to avoid it. And sometimes that is really not a constructive way for most people. But being active is in a constructive way for the purpose of a positive outcome. I can't run anymore because I'm waiting for knee replacements, and one of my knees particularly is bone on bone and the other one is getting there, so running is really not an option. But when I did run, when I feel sad, I would go out and I'd put my gear on and I'll take myself for a run, even if it was a 10-minute run, to get to myself breathing and to just be active. And I was able to control my thoughts far more when my body was breathing and active and being strong. I was getting oxygen to my brain, so I was able to think straight. And so what I did this afternoon, instead of running, I did a Pilates class, and I do it on YouTube, which is great. The local gym has put their fees up, so that's not an option for me anymore. But if it was an option, I would get myself down the gym and do a Pilates class. But something that's active, that's going to help you. It may be walking your dogs, which I'm going to walk them. I've got 2 dogs out there. I'm going to be walking them a little bit later on. And that's another thing you can do if you enjoy it. So it's being positively active and do that deep breathing to help you to get your thoughts in order, because this is where it starts. You feeling sad in your heart, and to think over and over and over how sad you feel will only plummet you down into the depths of despair, and you don't want to go there. So you want to turn that sadness and allow it to heal, your heart to heal, and to bring positive thoughts. And being active but not busy can help you to do that. Another tip is to give yourself something to look forward to. Now, as in here in the UK, the summer's coming, and it's holiday season, and perhaps you might want to book yourself a holiday if you can do that, or time off, or go out to dinner with some friends, or go for a walk down the beach or somewhere with something you don't normally do, something that is going to really make your heart feel really good, whatever it may be. For my birthday last year, my children bought me a voucher, a red letter voucher, and I'm going to look forward to an afternoon tea in a very special place in a lovely hotel. So I have that to look forward to. So whether it's something you pay for or something that's free, there's always something that you can do to look forward to. So you want to look forward to the future, look forward to tomorrow. That'll lift your spirits, and it'll help you to overcome anything that's negative that comes into your mind, to avoid that plummeting down in despair. So you want something to really look forward to stop yourself plummeting in despair, and really put a smile on your face and put positive thoughts in your heart. And there's so many more tips that I can share with you that I have found helpful. But my last tip is to appreciate the little things. Take notice of the little things. Take notice of the beautiful blue sky, or or the clouds and the cloud formation. If you are watching this at night and you've got a starlit sky, go out and have a look at the stars if you possibly can. Listen for the bird song, something so simple and yet something so beautiful and uplifting in your spirits. And look for the wildflowers and appreciate the colours. Appreciate, if you have pets, appreciate everything about your pets and how they make you laugh and how they make you despair at times. Appreciate your family and children, but if you're alone, those things that are around you, the small things, the meal that you're going to be preparing for yourself, appreciate the colours and the smells, appreciate the process of it being cooked. Pour yourself a lovely drink if you have a glass of wine or a nice coffee or a nice sparkling water. Put it in a lovely glass next to you while you prepare your dinner and put some wonderful music on. Appreciate the little things because that will lift your spirits and help you to think positively, because positive thoughts will translate into positive actions. Positive actions will translate into a positive life. And we want to be well. We want to be well for mind, body and spirit. And for those of you who are of faith, don't forget to pray at all times. God is always present with you 24/7. So be mindful of the presence of God by his Holy Spirit who is with you. Well, that's all my tips today, and I hope this has been helpful for you. And if it has, please like this video and comment, and please subscribe because that will help me here on YouTube. Well, I look forward to seeing you for the next Wellness Wednesday, or if you're interested in the next Faith Friday. I post videos every single week, and as ever, I really appreciate your company and